Welcome into another Red Out podcast. Another week, another little bit of basketball hope, maybe. We'll find out and see. Stick with us and listen, guys.
Hey, how about them tops, son?
All day, SEC boys. SEC, they supposed to be SEC. Crazy all day, baby.
You're listening to the Red Out Podcast.
I am not ashamed to admit in the past, I've needed a therapist. We all need someone, and it's a strong person who can admit it. I talked to my doctor, who referred me to a therapist, and I really didn't have much say as to who the therapist was. But with this episode's sponsor, BetterHelp, you do. You can filter out who you would like to talk to, age, gender, religion, and more to pair you with the person who works best for you. And if the person isn't exactly who you were wanting, you're not stuck. You can switch counselors. BetterHelp strives to offer affordable, professional, and accessible online therapy. So go to betterhelp.com/redout today to save 10%. By doing this, you not only support us, you can work toward a brighter, healthier you. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Yes, thank you to BetterHelp. And don't forget, if you use our affiliate link, Redout, or betterhelp.com/redout, you will save yourself 10% on your first month. There's like 25,000 certified therapists or counselors that can help you on BetterHelp. So if you are feeling depressed because of this basketball season, maybe you should just talk to somebody and maybe it'll help you out. And honestly, no joke, joking on the side, if you need some help, go to betterhelp.com. They'll help you out and get you paired with somebody that'll help you out. So how's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Good, man. Chilling.
There you go. Chilling like a villain.
I already know.
Yep. So Super Bowl week. Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm ready for the food more than anything at this point.
I know, right? I have a tradition of wings. Mm-hmm. I've got a couple wing places I'll hit up out here in E-Town and go get some wings and go watch a football game and spend about 3 to 4 hours just chilling and enjoying it and listen to my wife nag in the background, but it's whatever.
Would you help me? Would you help me? Getting mauled.
Yeah, by the dog, by our puppy, and by the child, the rabid child. No, she's good. She's just a ginger.
Oh, she's good. She's got rabies now. That's unfortunate.
Well, she's a ginger, so it comes with the genetics. Rabies.
Oh, well, my wife is rabid.
Yeah, and distemperament. Yeah. They try to vaccinate for that shit, but it does not cover it at all. Anyway, so
apparently it's really hard to give them anesthesia too.
I did hear that. That is a fact.
It's like 20% less effective.
Yeah, I don't more than any of that. Honestly, knock on wood, I've been really lucky. I haven't had to put my child to sleep yet. So
I just did that yesterday. That's why it's on my mind. So
you put your child to sleep or your wife?
Well, Devin, I mean, she's back. It's not like a dog. Just to be clear, we're making it sound like she's no longer with us. No, she had to have oral surgery, so we had to put her under anesthesia.
Wisdom tooth or something else?
Well, she's.
I mean, if you don't want to get into it, it's fine.
I mean, whatever. I don't know. She's got a. We had like 2 appointments, and it took like an hour each to get like one crown on or whatever. She has a bunch of stuff that, apparently got to brush her teeth when they come in. His first child, we didn't, we were like, oh, she'll be fine. Well, she got teeth falling out and whatever. So anyway,
your child does or your wife does? I would assume your wife at this point would know.
Right. Stephanie knows she needs to brush her teeth. But Riley, we didn't. I mean, it wasn't like we neglected them, but, maybe we didn't brush her teeth as much as we should have. So anyway, she's got dental problems, and it took forever. It was going to take like 5 appointments to get that done. So we just, yeah. Well, she has like 5 or 6 that we had to do, and it was like 1 per appointment for an hour. She's freaking out and stuff. It's like, all right, we just got to give her a hammer and let's get it done.
Oh my gosh.
Bonker on the head.
That's awful. I'm gonna have to start making my kid brush her teeth more.
A little motivation for you, Dev.
I know, right?
Those redheads, man. She might wake up in the middle of it.
At least you got dental insurance
from Safeguard.
Yeah, there we go.
On Scottsville Road.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my stuff pulled up because didn't have as much show prep time as I'd like. For the love of Jesus. Okay, when you go on ESPN's website, and I just typed in like WKU Lady Tops, they've got this horrible picture of Western's girls playing Virginia Tech, I guess it's Virginia Tech. Yeah, it's been over a year, so I'd say it was Virginia Tech. And this girl looks like she just got punched in a Rocky movie. Okay,
I gotta go see what the heck.
For our others, yes, her number is 33 for Virginia Tech. She looks like I could Photoshop a fist in there, and it would do the same thing.
So it's the Lady Tops page.
Yes, yeah. Just go to WKU or go to ESPN, search Lady Tops, and it'll pull up like their little page here, and it's the very first one. You see this?
I'm working on it. Hold on. I can't wait. This is probably going to be nothing at all.
Oh, it's going to be a little underwhelming for you, probably. And your
you usually are.
Highly exciting insurance life. I'm sure it'll be very underwhelming.
Yeah, I live a life of excellence. Oh, yeah.
Rocky movie, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting picture.
Ish. Rocky movie-ish.
That's from a while. That has been
It says a year. So it'd be, I mean...
I don't remember when we played Virginia Tech, though.
It's probably forever ago since they just used a random picture they found online. I don't know anybody else that does that.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Nope. Jared, so I do have a question for you, Starbucks related.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so I saw this on TikTok, and I need to know if it's true or false, but I don't know if
Is
you
it in my
answer.
DMs? I'm through like October now, bud.
You can kiss my ass, man. You know what?
Devin sends me, for context, people. Devin's sending me like 3 videos a day on TikTok in the DMs or whatever, and I'm like, dude, I don't have time to watch this crap. But they're all funny. But it's like I've probably got 150 that I've not watched from Devin alone.
Hey, I think of Matt. I see these videos, and I'm like, this is hilarious.
You think of me quite often, and that's kind of weird.
I do. I think of Matt a lot. There was but anyway. Yeah, so anyway, winners and losers. Jared, I heard something about Starbucks, specifically Starbucks that are in Targets. Do they supply refills on drinks for free? For free.
They shouldn't. I mean, the only way... Well, see, they're technically a licensed store, which means that it's technically owned by whatever they're in instead of Starbucks. Like, they're licensed to use the Starbucks stuff, but they don't have the same benefits working there as I do working at a corporate store.
Okay.
So their policy is different. But if you go to a corporate store, if you get a refill, you have to stay there the whole time. Like, you can't just get a drink, drive off, and then come back and say you want a refill. It's 55 cents to get a refill if you don't have the Starbucks app, but if you have the Starbucks app, it's free.
So I saw on TikTok where if it's a store in a Target, and for instance, you walk in, you get a drink, you walk around for 15 minutes, you drink the drink, you can go back and get a refill for free. So I don't know.
That could be their policy. I don't really know.
I don't either, but I saw that and I was just like, what? Of course, I don't do Starbucks. I mean, no offense to the master coffee maker, but I just don't do. I've never really done it. We did it once after a Christmas thing, and that was about it.
I'd rather have a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then
if I'm going to spend $7, I'm going to spend it on like 6 things at McDonald's before I spend it on one breakfast sandwich at Starbucks, even with my partner discount. God.
Yeah.
I don't know how people afford to eat the food at Starbucks.
I mean, okay, off topic, but still on topic. Just so Jared's Starbucks corporate didn't hear this, but like Panera Bread. I do not like Panera Bread's breakfast.
Oh Lord.
I don't know. Their eggs taste funky to me. I don't know what it is, but I just can never eat their breakfast. Now there's other places that I'm like, oh my gosh, I could eat their breakfast all day.
Why? Okay, Panera
Chick-fil-A.
bread. That hits a nerve for me. All right.
You don't like Panera bread, or you do like Panera bread?
I dislike Panera bread with
Okay.
all that's within me.
See, I figured you'd be the snob from Greenwood who loves Panera bread, but
Oh Lord, come on! I'm a redneck, man. Give me no buffet. That's why I
gonna
probably
go to
didn't
the
fit
Golden
in at
Corral?
Greenwood.
I remember stopping at Golden Corral on our way to Miami. That was good.
Yeah, well, see, Jared has evidence that I'm just a redneck. Find a buffet and plop me down, and I'm good. But
that's
I hate
hilarious.
Panera. Why would I go there and get a tiny meal, spend $14, and leave hungry?
Because it's organic, Matt. It's,
Oh yeah, save the
GMO-free,
earth. Well, I'm gonna
cage-free.
die and be a part of the earth because I'm eating at Panera because I'm starving.
Yeah.
It's atrocious.
So, let's get into our Super Bowl expectations. This is what our listeners are here for, to hear who's going to win the Super Bowl. We'll tell you that at the end of the episode. So just listen. We've got the script for the Super Bowl. So anyway,
we stole it.
yeah. So I overheard somebody was telling that is it one of the Kelsey brothers' parents or something is going to do the coin flip or something, or is that
There was a rumor, but have they actually confirmed that?
I have no idea.
Because I
You heard
heard
it here
that too, but I don't know if it was actually true.
Let's see. Oh nope. Donna Kels won't do Super Bowl coin toss, but says NFL made right choice for the honor. Cool. That would be really hilarious. I actually did. I did hear that she is going to do the split 50-50 shirt. It's got one part of the shirt has her son's number on it, and the back has her other son's number on it.
Yeah.
So that's hilarious.
That's a cool story, man. Like, what are the odds?
Like 1 out of 32 for both of them, right? That each.
Well, I mean, yeah, once they're in the NFL, but like, you know what, Devin?
I mean, for each team to get there, it's like 1 out of 32 for each. So
yes, thank you.
Yeah, so for, I mean, but as far as like, I mean, it's pretty cool that there's brothers playing, and honestly, I'm hoping for like an unsportsmanlike penalty between the two because I think that'd be hilarious. But they're both on offense, so I guess it wouldn't happen. But
That would be extraordinary.
Well, I mean, I guess. Well, okay.
I mean, if they're screaming at each other across the field.
Yeah, or like a bad post-game handshake or something, but that wouldn't be a penalty.
Maybe they'll like get in a fight or something.
That would be funny.
And
that would be really funny. And they just start running at each other. So, are we expecting a low game? Are we expecting a high-scoring game? What do you think?
Probably somewhere in the middle, maybe like high 20s, low 30s for me.
Okay. So like 40 points total?
Maybe like 45, we're thinking? Somewhere around there, yeah.
Like both teams about 45 points. Okay. Matt's, what are your thoughts?
Devin, you're not listen to anything.
Nope. Sorry.
I don't know about the score. I think it's all over the map. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. Like, both quarterbacks have been injured. They're both good teams. They have good supporting casts. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I think Jalen Hurts is like pretty underestimated, and he has been for his whole career. But I think he's kind of a sneaky, big-time player. Like, he steps up in big moments and wins. So. And obviously got Pat Mahomes. So I don't know. I think it could either it really could be either a blowout for either team or it could be really close. I don't know what to expect, but I'm interested to see what happens, but I'm not like, I don't know if I'm excited this year. I'm just kind of like,
yeah, I'm kind of indifferent. I'm indifferent like you are. I mean, I'm excited to watch the game like you said, but at the same point, like I really don't care. I mean, it sounds bad to say that, but like, these are two teams I really don't have any interest in. It's just kind of like, okay, it's a Super Bowl. Let's see how it goes.
Yep.
So the top 10 prop bets. You all both know what prop bets are?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Prop bet's like where it's a situational bet. For instance, for our listeners and Jared, the number one is that Travis Kelce to score a TD.
That's easy.
I would think that would be a very easy bet too. Yes.
Yeah.
Now Travis Kelce to score the first TD.
No, it just gets more specific.
Yeah, and then Jalen
Like
Hurts
Travis
to score a
Kelce to
TD.
score the first touchdown at 6:33 Eastern Standard Time.
Well, it's
and
not
the
that
temperature
specific.
64 degrees regionally or something. Yeah.
It's not that specific, though. It does say he would be the first scorer. The next one is Jalen Hurts to score. Then the fourth overall is Travis Kelce to score 2 or more TDs, which I think that would be a hard one to put down. I would think. Opening kickoff to be a touchback, no, is also a top one. Coin toss as tails is another one.
Yeah, they have some random stuff.
Oh, it is, and like
yeah,
some of them are
like halftime show and stuff.
Yeah, some of them are like halftime stuff. Yeah, exactly. Philadelphia first drive outcome is a field goal. And of course, Miles Sanders first TD score. KC's first drive outcome is a field goal. Stuff like that. Trying to find some other. Oh, here we go. Top 10 props by handle. This is by money. Will a quarterback have a reception? That's another bet. No. Travis Kelce to score a TD, coin toss heads, stuff like that. Starting quarterback to have negative rushing yards.
Oh,
that one is a big payout.
Yeah, because they're both really good runners.
I mean, I would assume so. I mean, it'd be kind of wild to see. I don't know.
Because in the NFL, the sacks don't count as negative yardage either. So you're gonna.
Yeah, so they'd have to. Yeah, they'd have to really screw up something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay. So I mean, we got a lot to talk about tonight, and
we've blown 20 minutes on Panera and Travis Kelce's odds to score a touchdown. Way to go, Dev.
Yes. And I
sinking
ignored
ship.
Jared. I'm sorry, Jared.
Clap aboard.
All right. So baseball and softball. It's going to start here in a couple weeks or something.
The girls play like Friday, actually. I think. Is it the 10th?
God,
they play the 10th. I was looking at it. I cheated. They play the 10th against Minnesota.
Okay.
So they're like literally Friday.
Okay. So softball starts on Friday. When? Let me see baseball schedule. Baseball. Skimming baseball because I don't care. Starts the 17th. So they play Dayton.
I could have told you that too, man.
Thanks. Yeah, they play Dayton on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and then I guess it's all weekend thing, and then they've got Belmont. See, that's what
they've got an interesting schedule. I don't know if you. Sounds like you just looked at it, Devin.
Literally,
good job on the show prep. But one thing I noticed, this is really interesting. They do not go outside of the state of Kentucky or Tennessee until we get to Conference USA play. They literally they play other teams, but they're either at home or they play at like Lipscomb, they play at Middle, whatever. They're all within the state of Kentucky, Tennessee. They don't go more than an hour and a half away. Yeah, I think that's really odd for a whole non-conference to not go anywhere.
To agree to that too, right?
Yeah, well, and how they got all these other teams, like they've got South Dakota State coming in, and it's like some random.
Ohio's another one's coming in. I mean, it's not as far as South Dakota State, but
Northern Illinois, but they play them all at home.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. But the problem we've always had, at least with the podcast and stuff with baseball, is there's no ESPN coverage for baseball. Like, I cannot just pull it up on ESPN and say, oh, well, this is what happened with baseball. They do not cover Western baseball. I don't know what it is. And they don't cover Western softball. So I literally have to depend on WKU Sports' website to tell me what happened. So it's just, that's why we've never really done baseball. or softball on the podcast because, I mean, we'll talk about them some, but we just can't do the coverage because we don't have the stats, and I don't trust WKU Sports' homepage. So there's that.
I think, I mean, to comment on it, I think Rardon, I don't know where y'all stand, or Jared, if you're at least somewhat interested to see what happens with baseball, but like, I think Rardon's doing a heck of a job. Just like if you watch his press conferences and stuff he says and the things he's doing, the players he's bringing in, and obviously his track record as well. I mean, I'm pretty excited to see what he turns out. I mean, baseball is all about finding diamonds in the rough. There's so many people that play baseball, so many levels of baseball and all that. Like, you've really got to do a good job scouting and recruiting, and I think he's really good at it. So I'm excited to see. I think he can get us going in the right direction, at least, maybe make a conference tournament or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Go Tops.
Of course, I won't be there, so I can't comment on how they do. So,
right, you're not allowed.
No, I'm not allowed.
Jared, will you be there, or you can't comment either? Can you?
No, probably not.
Okay, so just
nope.
Let's move on then.
So, Jared, do you have any expectations, or do you want to move on?
I mean, I hope we do good in softball and baseball. I know we've always had a pretty solid softball team. I know baseball has struggled a little bit, but it'd be good to see us be successful at everything. So, I mean, I hope we are.
Oh, I always do. I agree. I always hope that.
Personally, I'm not interested, but I mean, I hope we do good.
Honestly, like I would like to see some interest in it, but for the school's sake. But like, I'm just not a baseball fan.
Baseball would be such a great sport if they had a shot clock like basketball. Like they have 20 seconds to throw a pitch.
They have started adding stuff like that, by the way.
They should.
I think baseball could be a lot more interesting. I agree.
Give them a 10-second pitch clock where he's just chucking it every single, like every 10 seconds, just chucking it at somebody.
Or, yeah, I completely agree. Or, even like, I don't know if you've ever watched the show Futurama. Like, they put they have a ball, like a rope on the ball, and so you hit it, and they're like, woohoo, home run! And it's like, nope. And it comes shooting back into the game.
This may be an un-American opinion, but a soccer game that ends in a 0-0 draw is way more entertaining than a baseball game that ends in a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, it's I honestly am not very entertained for baseball. I agree with you, Jared. I'm not entertained with baseball. It's very boring. Well,
whatever. I think it's great. I enjoy. I don't know if y'all been to a Western baseball game, but I think they're fun to go to.
Well, it's Western, so yeah, I would cheer for them. Cheer for them. If it's Western, I'd cheer for them. But I haven't wanted to be spending all afternoon to watch it and falling asleep in the stands.
It could be a 6-hour game, depending on how many innings it goes into.
Now, if they serve alcohol, I mean, it's probably a different environment. But no,
they do. Go get drunk, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, go get drunk. Bring your perfect kids. Go support the Tops, trench coats and all. No joke. Seriously, though, support the Tops. I know the guys will appreciate it. And it makes it. I mean, it helps the game. Don't let our personal biases, no matter how much we're joking about it, affect you wanting to go. So if you want to go to a Western game, go to it.
If you're a pervert, go watch the women.
Good
God. Go Tops.
So anyway,
sorry, I had to say it, man. I mean, y'all are saying all this negative stuff. I just got to throw whatever I can out there.
Yeah, we're being negative Nancy's on it, but I'm just not a big baseball person. That's just me. You may be, and that's fine.
You suck, Devin. All right, let's move on.
No, I mean, sitting all afternoon watching baseball sucks, or NASCAR, or golf, but people enjoy it. So if you enjoy it, enjoy it. Don't let my outlook affect your things, your decisions. So, this is opinion-based. Facts are optional in this podcast. So, Conference USA, pretenders and contenders. What do you got, Matt?
All right. So on the women's side, I kind of thought about this and stuff. First of all, just so y'all know kind of the standings, because I know a lot of people aren't deeply paying attention or at all paying attention to women's basketball. But basically, you've got Western and Middle kind of at the top, and then you got a big group of people. And then for some reason, UAB women are awful in conference, but they were like 8-1 out of conference, but they're 2-11 now. So for some reason, they just completely melted down. I don't know if they had an injury. I have no idea, but they are still 10-12 despite being 2-11 in the conference. Anyway, so that's kind of how it stands in the standings. I mean, Western was the opposite in terms of basically being horrible in non-conference, and then all of a sudden turning it on come conference play. But I think your pretenders would have to be FIU. I think they've kind of played a soft schedule, and they're sitting at 7-6, and they're in fourth place. But I'm not buying it. I think Rice is usually a pretty good women's basketball program, and they were picked to be pretty high, and they've kind of struggled this year, off and on. I put UAB just because it's so shocking that they're as bad as they are in conference. I can't believe that they're 2-11. They were supposed to be like one of the 2 or 3 best teams. And then UTEP as well. I think they're 7-5. They're in third place, but I think they're not going to perform well away from their home arena. You know, you think about El Paso, it's an elevation. They've got the time change. They have all that in their favor. When they go to Frisco, they have to travel a ton, and they won't have any fans at all. And I don't think it'll play out well for them once they get to Frisco. Contenders, I mean, I think obviously Western and Middle are like 1A and 1B. Western and Middle play this Thursday for first place. So somehow Middle lost 2 games last week, and it opened up the door. Western is now like right in the thick of going
Right on
for
their
first
heels.
place. Right. It's awesome.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, didn't we just talk about this last week? That weren't the girls like 3 games back?
Yes, and we found a way to win our 2, and Middle blew it against the same teams we played, UTEP and UTSA. So we played 2 close games. Middle lost. They were down the whole time against UTSA, and let's see what the score was against UTEP. They played 2 close games, but I don't know what happened exactly. But it was really shocking to see them lose twice because they were ranked 21st last week. They fell out of the top 25, losing 2 games. I love it.
I know.
So anyway, I think it's Western and Middle. Obviously, I think those are your 2 favorites. But my other 2 contenders, I would put Charlotte in there. They're really well coached. She really knows what she's doing. I've watched her for years and just kind of observed. She's really knows what she's doing and pushes the right buttons. And they're also really young, and they're starting to come on here at the end of the year. And then North Texas is also, they beat Western. They have a couple good wins. So they're only 6-6 and kind of sitting in the middle of the pack, but I think they actually have a decent shot to make a run. So those will be my women's contenders. Did y'all have any women's, or you just want me to go on to the men?
Well, I mean, I guess we could just kind of transition into Lady Tops real quick. I mean, especially since you just brought up Middle and all that. I know it's probably going to screw you up, but Charlotte is 6-6 though. So you still think they're pretty good?
Yeah. Well, number one, Western lost to them, so it kind of stands out as like, okay, they do have a quality win. And I really watched the game against Western, and they have some talent there. And they were talking, it was a Charlotte broadcast. It was at Charlotte. It was on ESPN Plus, so it's Charlotte's announcers. And so they really knew Charlotte really well. And I was kind of listening to them, and they're talking about how close they've been and how they just need to get over the hump and stuff like that. Well, they've started to get over the hump a little bit, started to win a few games. And they're tied for 5th, and they're 1 game out of 3rd. Okay. So it's deceptive the way Conference USA has been this year, in both men and women, is you got this big clump of teams right in the middle. I just think that Charlotte's coming on here at the end of the year, and I think one difference is going to be coaching.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of youth, so your youth is going to grow up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So I just see them coming on a little bit. I don't know if they'll win, but I think they'll be a tough out in March. So I like them more than some of the other teams.
And I will say between 3.5, which is right behind us, that's UTEP, 3.5 games back. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that are within 2 games of 3.5. So I mean, like you said, I mean that's a big pack right there, and
and even FAU is another half game out.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, FAU is at 6. I was just kind of making it. I mean, that's 3 games or 2.5 games. So it's pretty wild how kind of the women have kind of pulled it together here, and that's bravo to you ladies. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got to apologize because I tweeted out as read out at the end of. I don't know if you saw this, Jared. I don't know if you saw it either, but I tweeted out, well, girls are down 19 at the end of the third. Guess that's over. And I was like, on to the men. And they ended up coming back from 19 down in that quarter and won by 2. So they had a 21-point swing in 10 minutes. And
they were, so great, Matt. Now we are the motivation for the women.
They were pissed. And all of them tweeted, and they were like, don't count us out. And Mr. Savory, Hope's dad, retweeted everything and was like saying, whatever. And I'm like, listen, I'm glad to eat crow, but I mean, hell, they were down 19. Like, it's not like they were down 7, and I gave up on them with 50 seconds left, like Cunningham does on the tops. I mean, they were down 19. Let's just run the shot clock out. I'm sorry.
So, please send all of your complaints to Matt McCay.
Send it to my business email there.
Yeah, get some insurance, and you can complain in person.
Yeah, I'll take that trade.
I think we should get. Jared, I think we should get insurance on Matt's tweets. Can we do that?
Oh, no.
For damages or anything like?
You're
make sure we don't get sued for his tweets. Okay. So Western's got we've got MTSU, and then next week we've got Charlotte. We'll talk more about it a little bit next week. Then we've got a few games, a little bit of a gauntlet with Rice, La Tech, UAB, UTEP, and North Texas. I still think that even though UAB's 9 games out, you can't take anything for granted there. And stumble right when you're getting this close to, being in first place in Conference USA Women. So,
I mean, you're the target now, and that team in particular is talented enough to beat anybody.
I mean, you don't have anything to lose.
Asleep. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, you don't have anything to lose. You have nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. You just go out and play basketball, and win or lose, you just go on to the next game. And when you're in UAB's boat, and of course Western too, but Western has a different situation. Like you said, you've got a target on your back. Everybody wants to topple you off the top. So, off the top. Yeah. It's kind of exciting to see. It's going to be nice to see the women do well. Okay, let's go to Conference USA Pretenders Contenders men's.
Jared, do you have anything there, or do you just want me to?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, you can say the initials and how the conference outlook looks. And
yeah, sure. Okay, man. Yeah. All right, cool. So I think a lot of people kind of know what's going on in men's. You've got FAU and North Texas. I think that are the 2 premier teams in men's basketball. I think definitely FAU. They still only have 1 loss. They did lose 1 recently, but they're back kind of in the saddle again, so to speak, and they play Rice here Thursday, so they probably, and they're at home, so they should be kind of back doing their thing again. And then they obviously get La Tech after that at home, so should be 2 wins for them. But anyway, they're definitely the top 2 in my opinion. North Texas as well. They're coached by, I think, one of the best young coaches in the country. I think he just runs a boring style, so he's not a huge, not a huge attractive next level kind of job search guy. But anyway, then you got a big cluster. So I'd say your pretenders would be, I think, La Tech. I've got UTEP. I'm just not. I think some of these teams are not going to play well in Frisco. La Tech also is just kind of, without Lofton, is not as dangerous. Charlotte looked like they could be pretty decent, and they do what Charlotte does and talk about how great they are, and then don't do anything. And then, I mean, UTSA, they're not a pretender or whatever, but they're just clearly like not ever gonna do anything in the conference. So I kind of got them as like they're never ever gonna do anything. But the contenders, I really feel like, in all seriousness, with every team, I really feel like anyone named not UTSA could potentially win depending on how they get set up in the tournament. I mean, I really feel that way because we talked about how strong Conference USA was in non-conference. They're all quality teams. I think there's a few, like the ones that I named, that I think probably won't. And I mean, crap, you could throw Western in there easily. But I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt with winning a couple of games and looking like they found a new style to give them a little credit.
Cool. So you don't find the North Texas coach attractive. I got you. Okay.
The FIU coach is hot, man. Have you seen him?
Oh, okay. No, I
got some nice hair.
Okay.
Best.
Yeah. Okay. So is it a possibility that UTSA spent all of their scholarship money on football?
Probably.
Dead silence. Wow.
Probably.
Oh,
I mean,
Jesus
just look at
Christ.
I was pondering, man. They do not give a crap about basketball.
Evidently, they were like,
that gym is a dump. I mean, it's like Bowling Green High is way better than UTSA in terms of so it's great.
Well, I mean, but no joke. Like, they're 1-13 in conference, 7-18 overall. Let me see here. Let's see who they've played that they've beaten. Trinity. That's Trinity University Tigers. The funny thing is when you look at, oh no, they changed it. Okay. I was just about to say the little logo beside the Trinity was EKU right before I clicked on it. And I was like,
I thought you meant like Louisville Trinity, like the high school.
Yeah, they played Trinity
Yeah,
High
pretty
School
much.
in Louisville. They beat Trinity, they beat St. Mary's, Texas State, Prairie View.
They beat Middle.
Incarnate Word, which who is that? They beat
They're a D1
Bufane.
school, believe it or not.
They beat Bufane and they beat MTSU. So, and they're on a little bit of a skid. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, they haven't won since January 5th. So
yeah, that's a 10-game
many.
skid. Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah.
So you're saying that besides UTSA,
I really believe that
the run over run runners. That's a mouthful. The roadkill road runners. You think anybody else could take Conference USA? Really?
Yeah, I really do. Look, UTEP is, for example, you look at the bottom, close to the bottom. Obviously, Western. We know they're talented enough. I think with Dante Allen kind of coming to the forefront, it opens up some doors to have some more offense. I think it's an interesting thought. UTEP, we saw them against Western. I don't like them in the tournament because of their location, elevation, that kind of stuff, travel. Their support, I think, can play a factor or whatever. And Charlotte, I don't really love them either. But I think that they have the talent and they could pull something together in March. So, yeah, I think anybody – and then obviously you look at the top half of the league. Obviously those are the true contenders according to the standings. So, yeah, I really do think 10 teams could win it.
Jared, do you think he's effing nuts or what?
A little bit, but that's just on a normal day. But nah. I mean, that's the thing with March in general is, I mean, looking at college basketball, there aren't that many teams in any conference that are just completely dominant. That I mean, there's anyone could get beat on any given night at this point,
Yes.
especially Conference USA. It's been like that the past couple of seasons, and even with FAU, they had that big winning streak, but they just lost it recently. So I mean, they could easily end up losing, maybe even before the championship game. If that happens, then what? Will Conference USA be a two-bid league? I mean, who knows? I mean, probably not. I mean, if I
No.
were to take a guess, just because, but I mean, anything can happen. As far as our chances, I mean, we definitely looked a lot better the past weekend, the past two games that we had. I mean, especially with Dante Allen looking a lot better and stepping up a lot. I mean, if we can consistently play like that, I think that we could maybe have a shot. But I mean, the Conference USA tournament has been our Achilles heel ever since Rick Stansberry has been here. So I don't really see that changing, especially with this team that we added this year. So I mean, I would be really shocked because we're not going to get a bye. We're going to have to play an extra game, and we couldn't even win 3 games in a row. So I know for sure we're not going to win 4 in a row.
Okay, devil's advocate. I mean, I'm not saying that I believe that we're going to win. Okay, I think we'll lose, and I think we'll probably lose the first game. But we're only. By the way, the bye is the top 5 teams this year because there's only 11 teams in. So the top 5 teams make it. We're a game and a half out of 5th place. So, and we play everybody that's above us. So there's no reason that we can't make up some ground and be 1.5 games better than 3 other teams. We could do that. And
yes, we could. And like last week with the women's, we talked about how the women's were 3 games out, and now they're only 1 game out, and now they have the possibility to be, tied for first or first place, whatever. But we also could be at the same boat next week. So I'm just saying.
I mean, I will be very surprised if
you think so?
Pull it off. I mean, the lady tops definitely have a chance.
Oh yeah, completely.
The men, I don't know. I mean, it would have to be like. I mean, now is the time when you would catch fire. Is when you need to.
Oh, you definitely do.
But that's the thing is that if we work really hard in all of February trying to get in decent position, I mean, we're going to be completely toast by the time we even start the tournament. So I don't know.
I agree. My only concern, I mean, Matt is in complete love with Dante Allen, but I mean, what happens when teams pick up on him and, we're going to throw some more at him? Do we have other weapons that are consistent that can actually do stuff besides him and McKnight?
I mean, I wish Marshall would get more playing time for sure. Like,
who was that, Jared? I'm sorry.
Marshall. It still blows my mind he doesn't get much playing time. He needs to, I feel like.
Yeah.
Same with Zhang and everything. I think that he deserves a little bit more too. I mean, so like what Matt was saying the other day, like talking about his averages and his minutes. I mean, he's been pretty consistent, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing though. I mean, all it takes is one bad game from Allen in the tournament, and we're going home. So I mean, he's going to have to play at the same level he was that got him a position on UK's basketball team to get us in the NCAA tournament.
So why was he not playing before? Any idea? Was it a
Frampton?
Yeah, I mean, Frampton had his spot.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say Acott has come on a little bit. That's somebody that has really played up to some of his potential the last few games. He's passed the ball.
But here's my question for you, Matt. Here's my question. Do you think that our team could collectively show up and play for 40 minutes and look really solid at any point from the stretch now? Like the majority of the team. I don't think the whole team could show up. But like, do you think the majority of the team could show up and win a really big game if we needed to?
Well, here's the thing, though, is we show up in the big games.
I think it's yes or no, but yeah.
Yes, I think we could. And I think in big games, besides in the tournament, we usually show up. Like the FAU game, like it was just FAU was better at their place. We couldn't buy a shot, whatever. We lost by 7, played pretty well, just couldn't get things done offensively. I think the UAB game, that was another example of we showed up against one of the better ones. North Texas, we gave a huge lead away and almost won anyway. I mean, we generally, I think, show up and we'll either, have these huge swings.
But that's my thing that I'm saying, though, is like a full 40 minutes. Like, if you play a full 40 minutes, you're not going to be down into a big hole like we were against North Texas.
Yeah, or these last two games this last week. I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
Just about every game we're either down or up 10, and it switches to whatever the opposite is of that. I mean, it's ridiculous, but I mean,
I just want consistency from here until the end of the season. That's
yeah. I don't really see it, but I think it's possible that we could be in a position to make a run. If you can get in a top 5 seed, you only need 3 games. So win 1, and then you're right there on the edge of going to the championship again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, I'm concerned with the consistency. And you've got to be able to show that consistency game in and game out. Big games, little games, and metaphorically, you have to be able to put teams down and go ahead and just, when you're ahead, you don't coast, you finish them and just go on. You can't play with them and let them come back, is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
And I don't know if this team can do that. So honestly, I would be really surprised if we made it, if we made it to, the second round of the tournament. I would be, at least happy with the last 3 quarters of this season. I would be fine with 25% of this season from what's been going on. Does that make sense?
Second round, you mean make it to the semis or make it to the quarters?
Semis, I'm ecstatic. Quarters would be like, oh, okay, good.
Okay, because if you get the 5th seed, you're in the quarters.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I mean, even if we do that, I'll be enthralled at this point.
Yeah, I mean, because this team has gone from the basement, if they can do that, then they're going to be doing really well, I think.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're only a few games out. It's really not. It's down to individual, who do you beat and who loses around you at certain times.
Without just shooting you straight, Matt, I'm going to tell you this. If they get into the 5th part, I would be really surprised. I just feel like they're going to screw it up. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
I do think the schedule softens here a little bit. It's not like you're playing FAU North Texas right now. You've got a home game against Middle.
You got UAB.
Right.
Which is in 3rd. UAB is in 3rd place.
When
that
is
is
UAB
at home.
It's later, isn't it?
That's on the 25th, but yeah.
Yeah. I was saying like right immediately, MTSU, Charlotte, who has not been playing very well, and Rice, who I think if Western will get their head out of their butt, could beat them no problem if we play some defense. But it is on the road. But, I mean, you got a couple games here that you could go and grab. I think Middle is a good matchup for Western. I think they had some freak stuff happen last year. We melted down against them this year. But if we can avoid that at all, make a few shots, I think we could make another little spurt here and get back in position to hang around that bye spot and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it is very unlikely. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 80% likely that that wouldn't happen. But
that we get a bye?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think that's about right. I mean,
8 out of 10, I'm going to say we're not going to get it. But
well, we got to dig out of a hole. So yeah, I mean, I think that's about right, honestly. But I think it's the main thing for me is to be playing well and to be a little bit more consistent than they are. And I feel like they have some kind of formula to actually look like they could win a game offensively instead of hoping that it just turns to one-on-one fest and win in the 60s.
Okay. Now, we got 10 minutes or so left in the episode and before my wife turns the child loose. But let's
Daddy.
Yeah. Like last week, which crazy kid. But anyway, at the end of this season, when we hit North Texas, March 4th, at the end of that game, or the next week or whenever, does Rick Stansbury still have a job?
Yeah,
You
like
think he's still in this? I mean, besides what we've heard,
if anything were to happen at all, it'd be after the season is completely over. But I don't
well,
know
that's what
how
I'm
soon
saying.
that would be.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, of course, that's after the regular season, but like Conference USA is done. You know, we're sitting at home watching March Madness. I mean, is Rick Stansbury still in Bowling Green, or is he doing whatever?
I mean, I've heard a lot of conflicting things. I mean, it's hard, especially looking at the attendance at the home games. Like, they have not been good. I mean, historically, to what this program has been, they just are not that good.
Well,
I mean, if you look at the attendance for the UTSA game in particular, like that was horrible. Like they said, it was like over 3,000 something.
It was like
they may have been
3,400.
tickets sold, but it was not that many people.
So, as far as attendance goes, do you think tomorrow night will be a good judge of that? If Diddle's not filled for a rival game of MTSU, if you're Rick Stansbury, are you concerned?
Probably. Well, I mean, I think it's more of a senior night than it is just MTSU, because that was the big indicator under Sanford. It was the last game of the season against UTEP
UAB.
at home.
Okay.
Like in football, like
I meant for basketball it'd be UAB this year, but yeah, sorry, UTEP.
Yeah, like I'm using the analogy, like when Sanford, right before he got fired, it was senior night. We played UTEP, and there was nobody at that game. I think it was in like 8,000 people was announced attendance. It was just no enthusiasm. Like the program felt dead in the water, and I mean Todd had to do something. And
yeah, you've got to at that point.
And if we go on a losing skid and lose to Middle, lose to UAB, like whenever that senior night game would be, if there's no one there, then that's going to be a pretty telling sign that something has to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, what do you think?
Well,
we know you hate. We know you hate Rick.
Hold
but
on, man. Let me talk, bro. Dang. I'm trying to be fair and balanced here. I think he bought, like Jared said, I think he's bought enough with the 2 wins this week that I just think it's kind of impossible to see him leave before the end of the year. So I think that's out. I think if he had lost a few more, or if he had lost these 2, good God, I think you'd have people actively trying to sneak in pitchforks into the stadium. Like somebody would pull one out. But anyway, it didn't happen. So I think he's bought himself to the end of the year. I really think that people are finally to the point that it's like, dude, if you don't make it, it's over. I don't know if Todd is there, but I think he'll get there once he sees the reaction. I think it's going to be meltdown central. It's going to be everybody freaking out if we don't make the tournament. I think he could possibly keep his job if he makes a run to the championship, or if we find some way to get like the 3 seed or something like that ridiculous. You know, people might throw him a bone enough to let him stay around, but otherwise, he's got to make the tournament, or I think ultimately he's going to end up getting out. If you pay attention to how Western fans react and stuff, if he's not winning at this point, he's going to be in trouble. And I guess the question is whether Todd really would do it. But I really think that there's enough there. If he's not winning, he's out. And I
agree.
Really think that. I really do.
Well, I mean, from what we've heard from like average Joes who, you know, like you said, whether on the show or group text or whatever, average Joes who have season tickets are like, I'm tired of watching this. This is the same thing every year. I'm tired of this. We need something.
Big leagues too. That's what I mean. It's a mixture of everybody. Sorry, Devin, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
like big names. Like you would be shocked of the people that I've had a conversation with that everybody would know exactly who they are, and they're talking about, you know, he's got to go, and this is a poop show, and whatever. Like, whoa, this is
to me.
Didn't you tell me that was Joe Biden? But go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, to me, the best outcome would be that Rick decides to just retire at the end of the season. Because, I mean, with his health and everything, too, I mean, ultimately, his health matters more than anything else.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to take care of himself. And if he comes to the realization that he just can't really coach to his potential anymore, then I would rather him retire than Todd have to just, as we say in Starbucks, be separated from the university.
Be separated. So that's a term you all use at Starbucks?
Yeah.
Y'all firing somebody? They'd be separated?
Mhm.
Okay.
Bunch of tree huggers.
Honestly, like, I agree
You're
with
not
you,
wrong.
Jared. I agree with you, Jared. I think for Rick to kind of ride off into the sunset here, his best option would be to retire at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But he loses money,
hopefully-
though. He loses $500,000.
Well, that's true, but do you want to have the legacy or do you want to get fired?
I don't think he's going to play that out, even if they're trying to run him out or something.
What is
He has
his
too much to
salary
lose.
anyway? Do you know off the top of your head?
Is it $850 or something?
Something like that.
But his buyout,
$850,000.
I think they said his buyout's like $500 or.
But I mean,
something.
technically, Ray Harper, he didn't get fired. I say that with like quotation marks.
No, his contract wasn't renewed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think Rick just got a renewal though, didn't he?
Right. So that's one thing that people were kind of pissed at Todd about. Like, you didn't give Ray an extension, even though he could have used it in recruiting.
Yeah.
But then you give Rick this lifeline, and guess what's happened? He's in trouble anyway.
At least it's not like a stock
Saved
steal
the university
situation.
money.
I said at least it's not like a stock steal situation where we're all going, Jesus, we can't afford this.
If he wins 2 games, he gets his extension on his lifetime contract. What
give him Patrick Mahomes money.
Yeah. That totally is a nightmare situation for Western. Yeah. Honestly, like, I think at the end of the season, I think it depends on like what his outlook is, and I don't know personally how coach's outlook is, but if he's more worried about his legacy here at Western, I think he's going to retire. Because he's making $850,000. The buyout's not that much bigger than his regular salary. Now, yes, $500,000 is a lot of money, but if you're wanting to have a legacy at your last school and you're just done after that, then that's a different story. You just be like, I'm done. I'm not going anywhere else. Now, if you plan on going somewhere else, then yeah, I think you're going to get fired. I think you're just going to.
He made a mistake. Like whenever his biggest contract was, like, I don't know if you've heard this story. This is slightly irrelevant, but I think it's hilarious. Like Cliff Kingsbury, the Cardinals coach, like the Arizona Cardinals, like he got fired and already had this massive contract with them. And they said that he bought like a one-way ticket to Taiwan or Thailand or something like that. I think it's Thailand. Yeah. He went to Thailand and he's just going to be living off of all of the money. They have to pay him through his contract all the way into like 2027, 2028, something like that. So he's going to be getting paid millions of dollars to just live in a tropical climate and do nothing. So that's the best finesse that you could do, is just get a massive contract, suck at your job, get fired, and then they have to still pay you for 4 or 5 years to millions of dollars.
That's actually an awesome idea. That's because I think, like, from what I've heard, like Thailand is like as far as the money goes, like things are like 4 or 5 times cheaper than they're cheaper at Thailand than they are here. So like you can live off like $100 for like a month or something.
Think of what kind of house he could have with like $1 million salary in Thailand.
I would be, yeah. I think Thai food would be amazing, but yeah.
Same.
That'd be a lot of fun. I completely agree.
I want Thai Express to reopen in Bowling Green. It's happening at some point, so that's something for us to look forward to.
Yes, and Thai Express needs to be a sponsor of the show, just so you know.
That'd be nice.
But we'll just finish up here. Looks like Western is going to be playing. Men will be playing on the 9th, so that would be tonight if you're listening on YouTube or other podcasting sites. It'll be on CBS Sports Network for those of you who aren't able to go and aren't allowed to have an opinion. Lady Tops are going to be playing at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and that's at Middle. So if you're in the area there, go watch the game, support the Lady Tops. This is a big game for them, so they're going to really appreciate your help. And then next week, we will be talking Charlotte for men's and women's and kind of updating everybody where we stand basketball-wise. So we'll be back next week to talk about that and talk about Matt's obsession with Dante Allen and how he's probably going to get a restraining order.
Hilltopper legend.
He did the reverse Patrick Sparks, though, so you got to respect him.
Yes,
yeah,
I do respect that.
That's a great way.
I do respect that. The funny thing for me is just picturing Matt like in the bushes and Dante Allen's just kind of like chilling, and he's like, all of a sudden Matt pops out. It's like, Jesus, Matt, I told you can't do that.
Hey, Dante.
Hey. It's like, Jesus, I've got the worst groupies.
Your name starts with D.
All right. So check back here, guys. Follow us. We'll keep you updated on everything. Matt will keep sending out inappropriate tweets, and we'll holler at you next week. So as always, guys, go Tops.
Go Tops. Beat Middle.
Yes.
Beat Middle. Yes. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
See you, bud.